Scream 1996, directed by Wes Craven, starring Neve Campbell as Sidney Prescott, Skeet Ulrich as Billy Loomis, David Arquette as Dewey, and Courtney Cox as Gale Weathers. Growing up, this was my brother's favorite movie. I would walk by while he watched it, which is the old version of watching a movie via TikToks. I was very familiar with it, especially the climax, so I never really thought to watch it until now. Scream is as much a satire as it is a tribute to the horror and slasher genres. A world full of kids that's a little too into scary movies outside of our protagonist Sydney. The movie starts with maybe the biggest star in the cast, Drew Barrymore, who is a central part of the promotional material, and just like horror classic Psycho, gets killed early in the movie. The movie is self-aware and referential to its inspirations and what it satirizes. As I said before, the mystery of who the mass killer is was never a secret to me, but it's shocking how obvious the actual killers are. When we meet the first of our killers, Billy Loomis, he says something very weird about how the exorcist near made him horny, and when we meet the second two, he's being very descriptive about how you murder someone and how that first victim is someone he dated, yet didn't tell the police that information. Most of the clues lead to them, and the red herrings to the other characters are very minor, and they always look very murderous. The movie will mock the tropes of the genre and use them at the same time, telling you there is a way to make what seems like a dumb decision look valid. How often when watching a horror movie are you saying to yourself, no, don't do that, because there's no real reason to do something idiotic a horror movie character does before getting killed. Sydney talks about how dumb the trope of running up the stairs while being chased instead of going out the door, but once she's in that situation she does the same. She had to lock the door and it's too hard for her to unlock it while the killer is right there behind her. Probably the dumbest decision someone made is Tatum mocking the killer at the party, but there's precedent to kids dressing up as Ghostface. A character famously tells you the rules of horror, and then they get broken. Sydney has sex and lives, Randy gets drunk and lives. Sue mocks the I'll be back trope twice, and does indeed come back both times, though he does end up dying later on. But it still lets itself have some fun with those rules. They mock the motive, but Bill still has a motive. The killer comes back supernaturally, then gets killed on the spot. I've only watched the first three, and I think the reason 2 and 3 aren't as good is because while they're self-aware, they play to the tropes without bringing them much satire, but appreciative is what makes Scream such a highlight in the genre.